Alright, pitch for an animated series. A show about two average guys who are just trying to make their way through the world, but the world is a very, very weird place, and they themselves are also very, very weird anthropomorphic things. That's never been done before. Apple and Onion is a new show on Cartoon Network. It was created by George Gendy, who was a storyboard artist for The Amazing World of Gumball, as well as Sanjay and Craig, and he also does the voice of Apple on the show. Onion is voiced by Richard Ayoade, who I think is more well known in the UK than he is in America. The only thing that I know him from is The Mighty Boosh. That show was weird. The show is essentially about them going out into the real world for the first time, getting their first apartment, learning to get along with people, staying out of trouble, and getting their first job, which is at a dollar store, which I find strange because this show came from Cartoon Network UK and the two main characters are British, so shouldn't that be Poundland? So I was kind of worried at first that this was going to be just like all those other shows like Breadwinners and Pickle and Peanut and Regular Show. But, not really. I would say this one is a little bit more, how shall I describe it? More low-key than those other shows. Less crazy, less loud, less weird. Still weird, but a lot less weird. It's kind of like if they made Regular Show directed definitely towards children and not just, you know, a much older audience as well as children. The show is very heavy on situational comedy. It's more like, oh, we need to afford this thing, but we don't have any money, so we gotta find a way to get money. Or, you know, a cat comes into the apartment and now we have to deal with this wacky situation and stuff like that. The show does have its fair share of weird moments. They're a little bit more spaced out than some of the other similar shows are, but when they happen, they are usually very funny. For example, this is a world where everybody is an anthropomorphic food item, and I'm not just talking about like fruits and vegetables. They're like people who are bottles of soda and all kinds of other weird things. But anyway, they have a friend who is a pizza slice, who has a diner. And there was a scene where they showed his mom working in the kitchen, and she was like a whole pizza with like a slice taken out. And it was very funny for a second, because then you realize, oh, okay, this is, he was birthed from her head or whatever, however that worked. But unfortunately, that moment was ruined because they kind of explained the joke. You know, they showed his mom in the kitchen and then they were like, hey, pizza, is that where you were birthed from? And then he showed a picture and he's like, yes, look at this picture. And it was still funny because of the reactions they have. Onion was like, ew, and stuff like that. I felt like that would have been a lot funnier if they had not explained the joke, if they had just kind of left it up to the viewer to, you know, put the pieces together. It was still pretty funny. It just, I don't think it was as funny as it should have been. At the beginning of this video, it was maybe coming off as kind of hard on this show, but that's mostly just because of jokes, you know. I have to keep these videos entertaining. You gotta learn to laugh every once in a while. That's what Teen Titans Go taught us. Ha! Worked one in there. But if I was to describe the show, I would say it's pretty harmless. I would actually put this on the same level as Unikitty, where it's just, you know, it's a good show for kids. Although, personally, I would show this over Unikitty because there was a very genuineness to the show. It was, you know, showing how hard it was for them to have their first day in the big city away from their parents, and, you know, they were trying their best and they never gave up, and I think that's a really good thing for kids to see. I do like that it was a lot less loud than Unikitty, that's for sure. Unfortunately, just like with Unikitty, it's not really my thing. I don't think it's a bad show at all, but I would say this is just for kids and not really much else. But anyway, that's all I got for Apple and Onion. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think of it. My name is Rob, and have a wonderful day.